Hi everyone, welcome to Chic Chats. I am Jeanette-Ipapo Tuason, founder and columnist of Chic Driven and owner of Tuason Racing School. We're here to give you your best life in bullet points. Let's face it, before, even if our houses were a mess, we don't really mind or we don't organize or we organize superficially because busy tayo. But when pandemic started and we're forced to be at home and we're forced to good to organize our house properly, oh my God, sometimes it's such a struggle or a challenge. But fear not, today we brought in the expert. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome a prominent and certified KonMari consultant in the Philippines and the founder of Spark Joy Philippines, Christine Dychiao. Christine, welcome to Chic Chats.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
You know, I'm a big fan. I read the book. You know, I've been talking to you about it. Ano ba talaga yung KonMari for people that don't know?
Okay, so KonMari is a Japanese tidying philosophy, but it's not limited just for the Japanese. It's for everyone and anyone who wants to tidy. So it's basically not naman rules, but guidelines on how to tidy successfully. And she says that if you follow her 6 rules, you'll be successful in tidying. So it's more of a technique, and she teaches us a mindset. So it's something that anyone can actually do, whether you're a kid, whether you're 80 years old and you decided, oh, I want my home to be tidy. So it spans across different ages, whatever, ano pa, basta you want to tidy, this is the solution.
So what makes it different? Because you know there's a lot of books and there's a lot of tips on how to tidy or organize your homes. What is the difference with KonMari? And it's so popular because it even has a Netflix show, right?
Yes, I think the key here is it's not a superficial approach to tidying. It's not like an aesthetic lang na you bring in the containers and then magically, wow, it's clean. It's more of a inner work. Parang it's a philosophy that entails you trying to, confront yourself through your belongings. So may kind of spiritual aspect, which is related to her beliefs in Shintoism, that everything has a consciousness. So in a way, her approach is, I guess, spiritual versus just the physical kind of tidying.
So how did you get into KonMari? Because before I know you were a fashion blogger. I was following you, diba? You were doing the mommy chic clothes, diba? It's easy. How did you start in KonMari?
Okay. Actually, it was that fashion that got me into tidying. Kasi I shopped a lot. And alam mo yon, parang sometimes you're afraid to enter your closet kasi when you open it, it was that bad. I mean, I get you because I was super messy. I swear. Parang, kaya nga, I believe in it so much because it really helped me because it reached the point na nasa-stress yung asawa ko sa kalat ko. Kasi ang dami talaga. And yeah, because of this stress related through nakuha ko through shopping, stress induced by shopping, I stumbled into KonMari. And I think it's something that at that point when it came into my life, it was so timely because I was so fed up. I did everything. I bought all the containers, all the shelving. Oh my God. And then I told my husband, no, I just need a bigger desk para umayos yung table ko. But no. So it reached a point na sabi na asawa ko, oh, bigger desk na, bigger room na, ang dami na. Bakit hindi pa rin maayos? So when I saw her book, I said, at this point, I'm willing to try anything. So even if it sounded woo, like she would say, talk to your thing, say thank you. I was like, it sounds weird, but you know what? At this point, I'm willing to try anything. And so I did, and it worked. It was like magic talaga. So when she said it's the life-changing magic, it's so true. I felt that magic because I really saw for myself how my closet transformed, how the rooms in the house transformed as I tidied along. And I said, wow, this is something that, really works. And even the most hopeless case, because I thought I was a hopeless case, kasi diba, decades of kalat. It really helped me. So I said, this will help a lot of people. And a friend said, why don't you teach us? And I was like, but I just read the book. What's so special about reading the book? And she said, if there's a certification, you should go for it. And I said, yeah, there is actually. And when I looked up, tamang-tama, there was an opening in New York. And I said, okay, let's do it. So yun, that's how it happened.
Wow. So, I was just explaining to you, 'di ba, backstage, 'di ba? Kasi like me, I was telling you before na I used to call myself creative chaos even if it's makalat. I know where everything is compared to my husband na, masinop nga siya pero hindi naman niya alam kung saan na nilagay yung gamit niya. But I think what's so important now for being organized is because we're stuck at home, right? So, unlike before na hindi natin masyado napapansin kasi we're always out of the house. Ngayon, nandito tayo, kitang-kita natin yung kalat, 'di ba? And I believe it also has an effect on our mental health if our surroundings are clean, you don't have a lot of guilt saying, oh, hindi ka ito nagagamit or something like that. So, I understand that you take a seminar for this. So, hindi naman natin siya mako-cover lahat. But if there are 3 tips that people need to learn how to start KonMari, what will it be?
Okay, I think the first step would be to really follow her rules. So there are 6 rules. And I swear, if you follow it, you'll be successful. I mean, it gives you the confidence to continue on. Kasi before, diba, I'd try to tidy and then after a few days, wala na. But with this method, I started actually with my work desk kasi yun yung nakikita lagi ng asawa ko eh. So he would always, fix it. So yun yung first attempt ko. And I saw, oh my God, nag-transform talaga siya and umaya siya. So then I went to clothes and then, but her rule is, first you have to commit to tidying. Like you find time for it. And before that was hard because we were also busy, always running from one meeting to another. And now we're mostly at home, diba? So we can really say, okay, I'm gonna spend 9 a.m. to 12 noon tidying. So commit to it. Find a time for it. And when you do, don't turn on the TV, don't look at your phone, don't check your email. It has to be like 3 hours of just tidying. Kasi madidistract ka. Next thing you know, you're checking your mail. Mamaya sasagutin mo na and then nawala na. So just focus on the tidying. In 3 hours, you will see a transformation. Like, it will really inspire you to move on and continue doing it kasi you saw for yourself na, oh, it really works. So that's the first thing, make time for it. Second is you have to visualize. How do you want your space to look like? Hindi yung you just go in and say, I'm gonna tidy. But how will it look like? How do you envision it? Actually, you have to go through the motions of how do you feel as you enter the room? You feel, relaxed and you're ready to sit down, have a cup of tea. Parang you really have to be clear in your head what you want. So it's really like a visioning exercise in a way. And then third is let go. You really have to let go of things. It's not keeping it under the bed or shoving it in another room. Typically, the stuff has to leave the house. If you have to donate it, if you have to give it to someone else, it doesn't matter as long as it's out of the house. Okay, the fourth is you have to tidy by category, not by location. So it's not by room. Actually, you don't clean by room. You clean first with your clothes, and then your books, and then your paper. So it's really, you're focusing on a certain category for you to see that it's gonna be finite. Mauubos rin siya. Because if you go and enter a room and you have no game plan, you don't know if you've actually finished. But if you focus on, no, just today, just clothes lang. And then when you're done with clothes, oh, I'm done with clothes. So parang you can move on to the next. And it gives you like a finish line na, okay, I'm done.
Okay.
And then the fifth rule is follow the order. So you really have to start with clothes, and then books, and then paper, and then miscellaneous, and then your sentimental. And finally, the sixth rule is, if you don't know if you should keep it or not, yun yung you ask yourself, does this spark joy for me? How do I feel when I touch the item? Parang ito, do I love it? Parang ganon, parang you really have to ask yourself, hindi yung baka magamit or I'll keep it kasi baka malaman ng mommy ko, pinamigay ko yung regalo niya. So, it shouldn't be that way. It should be, do I love it? Does it make me happy? Does it serve me? Does it spark joy?
So paano kung lahat spark joy? Paano kung may spark super joy, spark medyo joy? May ganun ba? O isang levels lang yung spark joy na yan?
Actually, meron naman parang super love, 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 but meron din parang, oh, it's useful, like a stapler. I mean, I wouldn't say spark joy ang stapler, but if, mawala yon, and I know that the kids, have these worksheets and have to staple them, pag nawala yon, I would still need to buy it. So, it's more of super love, 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 or yes, it serves me. It serves a purpose in the house, and we have to keep it.
So you do this on a personal basis, right? So you sometimes go to the homes of the people. What are the usual stumbling blocks that you see from everybody that you've tried to help?
I think the number one stumbling block really is the willingness to do it. Some people say, I want to do it, but are you ready to do it? Parang, my first client, we had to cancel twice because she was like, nervyos because she's like, oh my God, am I ready for it? So parang, the next time, oh, fine. I mean, because I cannot force her. I mean, it has to be you wanting to do it, because if I say, no, we have to do it, then she will feel forced, and then parang hindi buo, diba, yung loob niya to do it, then there'll be resentment. So it has to be her wanting to do it and saying, okay, I'm ready, I'm gonna do it. So the initial stumbling block really is the mindset, I think, and the fear of letting go of things, I think, more than anything.
I think in my experience when I read the book, so I read the book first, and then we tried to do it, but we parang halfway we were, we couldn't let go of stuff. I think I was very effective with the clothes, but when it came to the books, we were always thinking na, naku, babasahin pa ito ng anak ko kasi, my kids are like all ages. I have a 20 until 6, so we were thinking that the books they can still read. But what really, my key learning from reading the book is actually that part where you say you have to hold the item, even if you know that it was very good for you, sentimental, it has sentimental value. Yung part na, tapos na yung service niya sa'yo, it's time to let go and say thank you. I think I was able to apply that also to people. To people na sometimes, diba, they in our business, parang they've been growing with you through the company, and then you realize there's nowhere else to go because you have different directions. Does this happen to you as well? Did you
I've
have
seen it
stories
happen.
like this?
Oh my God.
Okay.
I've had clients who separated with the husband or quit their job. Oh, talaga. Parang, it's really, I've seen it. Parang, I'm like, oh my God.
Di na nag-spark joy.
Hindi really spark joy si husband. The first one was, my first client, she separated na. And then she was super depressed about it. And so parang, because, when you're depressed, you cannot take care of your surroundings. Then clutter happens. And then clutter affects also your mood, diba? So parang it's like feeding off each other, the clutter and the depression. And she said talaga na when we finally cleaned up her apartment, and lumuwag siya, she said humagulgol siya sa iyak. Because parang she felt like a load was taken off of her. And the beautiful story there is because she was a makeup artist. And she was, minsan tired na, I have to drive to where the client is. But she lived in the CBD. So she was saying, now that I'm in the center of everything naman, and my home is so nice na, and I created a makeup studio, mini makeup studio in the apartment, I can have clients come in and they can do their makeup here. So it was cheaper for the client. It was less stressful for her because she didn't have to drive. So it was win-win. And her business grew pa. So for her, that was, the beautiful thing. When she let go of her stuff, she found space for what she loved, and she made more money in the process. Yung isa naman, she hated her job and she wanted to quit, but she was so scared. Now, what will I do after? And so we tidied it and fixed her home. And parang, I guess, when you're going through that process of letting go, you become more brave. And eventually she quit her job and she focused on this little business that she had, and it grew. And then another naman was, yun, she tidied their home. And then I found out later, she called me and she said, I moved back to my mom. And I separated with my husband. So parang it gives people the courage, I think, na, oh, letting go is easy pala. Once you let go of the baggage, you become braver and you learn to embrace new experiences, and you think na, okay, kasi it gives you clarity, eh. Letting go of stuff also gives you clarity na, yeah, in the process you end up also not naman KonMariing friends, but learning to let go of toxic relationships, even the relationships that don't serve you, whether it be professional, whether it be, romantic relationships, whether it be whatever. So it's really a process that cleanses you from within and gives you
Mhm.
courage, and it makes you more mindful of what is important to you and what serves you and what makes you happy.
So let's say now that it's pandemic, diba, and people are not really together and they're always at home. How does how does it how did it change for KonMari? Is there like a special adaptation for it that you have done or that you see that your clients are doing?
Actually, because of the pandemic, because nga people are spending more time at home, they realize that, my home should be my sanctuary. It should be a space that I love, because, you wake up and then the rest of the day, you're in that same spot or that same place, diba? You can't naman just go out like you used to. So you're forced to face your surroundings. And then, grabe ngayon, like the furniture shops, they're doing so well because people want to change their furniture.
Yeah.
And my friends who are interior designers, and they're like, oh my God, ubusan. Like, ang bilis, most of the things na she liked, reserved na. And she said, grabe now, parang people really are spending for their homes. And that includes the cluttering. They realize that, what, I need to create space for my child's, study area, or to
Yeah.
create my own office, or a
Mhm.
workout area, diba? Parang people are now realizing that sayang naman yung space ko if it's just tambakan or stock room, and I'd rather use it for something more productive. So I think, in a way, the pandemic has made people realize that, my home should be my safe space. Outside can
Okay.
be, diba? Outside can be dangerous, magulo. I have no
Yeah.
control what the government does. But within my home, I can control things. I can make it as beautiful as I want it to be. I can, put on, these scents, put on music, and make it really a home, or a true home. Diba? Hindi lang siya tulugan, but a place where I really feel safe and comfortable, and I love it.
So my question is now that I have kids, diba? I have kids and I have little ones and have teenagers. So sometimes my issue is yung teenagers ko ayaw magligpit, 'di ba? What can you say about that? What's a tip that you can give me?
Okay, tip to moms: model the behavior. I know, I know it's hard, but that's the only way. Because I spoke to a mom one time, and she said she attended one of my talks. It was pre-pandemic, and she said, you know what? I realized talaga na the best way is to show the kids. I mean, they won't necessarily follow you, and you won't necessarily see them doing it right away. But she said that when her son went off to college, nagulat na. Sabi niya, oh, your room is clean. And the boy said, I saw you, I saw you, tidy and organized. So I kind of knew how to do it. So hindi niya ginagawa sa bahay nila. But when he eventually had to live on his own, he knew. It was in him. Parang because the parents modeled the behavior, then they kind of know na, yeah, my mom, this is what she would do. This is how she would fix it. This is how she would store it. So don't expect na, especially the teenagers, I mean, they're teenagers. They have better things to do. That's not their priority at this point. But when they see you do it, when it's time for them to, maybe start their own family or live away from you, they will know because they saw you do it. And I think naman we shouldn't underestimate our kids. Sometimes they really just don't want. I mean, we were teenagers once. That's the last thing we wanted to do, diba? Tidy our room. So it's I think what's crucial is moms should model the behavior. They should, at least do it so that the kids know how to do it. I mean, my kids, I have little kids, and my 6-year-old, when he was when he would keep his toys scattered in the room and stuff like that. But sometimes he would surprise me and tell, Mom, look, I KonMari'd my toys. And he really fixed it super nice. So parang don't expect miracles, but know that when you model the behavior, they're getting it. It's seeping into their system and they'll get there.
So let's say for example, yung daughter ko ayaw talaga niya. It's really a struggle for her. I don't know what to do na sometimes. Do I clean the room for her, or so that she understands this is the kind of expected cleanliness that I would want to see?
Actually, yes. Ganun lang. Para do it with her and say, okay, this is how we do it. I mean, of course, they're not gonna be happy because they'd rather be playing. But if they see you do it with them, kasi minsan we tell them, do it, clean it, and then I'll check on you. It's different than when you actually sit with them and say, okay, your toys, it goes here. I mean, eventually it becomes like play with them na rin naman eh. So at first my son would be like, no, I don't want to do it. But when he sees me do it, parang akala niya laro na rin. So he goes along, and then the next thing I know, wala na, we're enjoying it. So it's really just being patient with the little ones.
Okay, that's great. So how about I've seen people do this. How long is the process?
It really depends. It depends on how quick you want to do it or how much time you want to commit to it. I've done a studio apartment. We did it in 10 sessions, but she had a lot of stuff. Like, siya rin nagulat, how did all of these things get inside the house and fit? Kasi like 70 garbage bags and boxes and, bags of stuff. 10 sessions. But I've done it rin na super bilis lang. So it really depends on the person. If they have a lot of stuff, if, how big the space is. It's really very personal in a way.
Okay. So like one of the stumbling blocks that we also have is where to dispose of the stuff, right? So, diba, if you're saying there's a lot of garbage bags, there's a lot of boxes, where can we send it, if ever?
At pre-pandemic, we would send it to orphanages. I'm not sure if they still accept, but currently, I remember during the Bagyo, people were accepting donations. And then some of my friends, they would like tell their staff, bahala ka na sa mo gustong dalhin, just get it out. So it really depends on if you want to give it to an organization or give it to your staff and bahala na sila. If it's really nice things na parang sayang naman, maybe somebody could use it, then maybe ask a family member, or do you want maybe this dress or this pair of shoes? Parang give it to someone who wants it, who will use it, not naman parang, oh, this is yours na. So it's really...
Yeah, do you also advise them to sell? Kasi sometimes if it's all designer, diba? And they don't want it na. Kasi sometimes, yun yung issue mo, diba? You have designer clothes and you rarely use it. You can't just donate it, diba?
Yeah.
You have clients that sold,
who will wear it and where will they wear it. So for those special or special occasion clothes, you can work with mga secondhand shops. So there's basically Borrow, there's Glorious Diaz, there's a lot of secondhand shops naman you can work with who will probably take them in. It's really I think people now are, because they're more aware that they have to lessen their carbon footprint. People are more aware now. Buying secondhand is fine. I mean, it's actually a way to lessen your carbon footprint, and you're actually there's an economy talaga supported by the sale of secondhand clothing, and there are people who will buy it, especially the younger ones, na very conscious about where are my clothes coming from and stuff like that. So it's there's always a place where you can bring it to. It's not like don't let it be the reason why you can't tidy. Na
Okay.
you don't know where to send it. Because there
How
will
about this?
always be somebody.
Last question.
Okay.
So they say fashion always comes back. So how does KonMari address this? Kasi sometimes, di ba, you let go of it and then it comes back into fashion. Is that something that you still will accept in KonMari?
I think, don't think of baka mauso ulit. If you really love it, then keep it. But don't declutter based on baka mauso. Think of how you feel about the item. So if it's a pair of jeans, okay, how do I feel about it? Oh, actually, it doesn't fit me now, or it doesn't look good on me now. So it gives you an objective reason why you have to let it go. But if you really, really love it, then fine, keep it. I mean, it doesn't have to be naman na you're keeping it kasi uso siya, di ba? I mean, you have to be keeping it because you love it. It looks good on you. You feel good when you wear it. Um, I think the primary concern here is a lot of people keep things because one, they spent a lot of money for it and they're attached to the value. But do you wear it? Do you love it talaga, or nanghihinayang ka lang because you spent X amount on this pair of shoes? So it's really asking yourself, how do I feel about this item more than baka magamit, baka mauso, baka, for whatever reason. So usually kasi that one day is never. And I've given away a lot of clothes na hindi ko naman na hinahanap din. So it's more of that ano nga eh, the block is really you unwilling to let go because hindi ka pa ready. But once you get the hang of it, it's gonna be easier. You'll reach a point that you're always looking for things to give away pa because you want to clear up the space.
So we have something in store for you, ladies and gentlemen. Tin was, she's been super nice to giving us a free session. All you have to do is answer her question in the comment section below. Tin,
Okay,
what's your question?
sige, how many rules are there in the KonMari method?
Naks, madali lang yan. Na hindi yan pinapa-itemize, pinapasabi lang kung ilan. So guys, you have a chance to have a tidying session with Tin and get your life decluttered, including the toxic relationships that you have. Tin, thank you so much for joining us. I've learned so many things today. I hope our audience will also learn a lot and start tidying. Where can they find you, pala?
Okay, I'm on sparkjoy.ph on Instagram, and we have a support group on Facebook. It's Spark Joy Philippines.
Thank you so much, Tin.
Thank you too.
Thank you so much, Tin.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's do a quick summary of what we learned from Tin today. So I think the first one is, of course, commit to it, diba? It's really a mindset, so you have to commit to tidying up, hindi pwedeng half-hearted. The second thing is, if we want to follow KonMari, you have to follow it all throughout. So there are several categories, there's 6 rules. You need to read the book and really go through the motions of cleaning it. And then the third one, I think, is if you need to learn how to let go, not just with stuff. I think it's also very helpful with people, with toxic relationships. Sabi nila, toxic husband. So I hope that you can also learn this while doing the whole process of tidying up. So there we have it. So I hope you guys learned a lot of things today. Please don't forget to like and follow us on our social media channels at Chic Driven. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Chic Driven TV, and hit the notification bell to keep you updated on our latest happenings, and tune in to Chic Chats every Thursday at 5:30 p.m. This has been Jeanette-Ipapo, Tuason, and we're here to give you your best life in bullet points.